Hi, I'm Sharon Knight, President and CEO of Hope Communities. Thanks so much for joining us with our Building Community Check-In. We, as Hope Communities, have supported some of the most vulnerable folks across the city for 40 years with housing, educational programs, and support services. And a part of what we have always been committed to is building community. We want to build relationships between neighbors and businesses, and we know that we are stronger together than any of us are independently. And so part of the reason we're doing this show is to be able to keep those connections going while people are in quarantine or a safe at home mode. We know some people are feeling isolated, some people are lonely or afraid, and some people just are not quite sure what to do because things seem to be changing day by day. So we have launched the Facebook program 3 times a week, and part of why we do this is because people can write comments in the comment section as we are going through the show. But if you are watching at a later time, or if you have a question at any time, please feel free to email us at info@hopecommunities.org, and we will help you with whatever question that you have. So I'm going to introduce 2 guests in a minute, but first, let me tell you some of the latest news. So as we know, the governor has opened up restaurants in a limited capacity. Restaurants can have about 50% of their normal clientele, or up to 50 people. They're still going to be trying to keep social distancing, trying to use out of doors to help with that. But it's just the beginning baby steps towards having regular restaurant service. We also know that some of the day camps are opening for kids this summer. They're not going to have residential camps at this point, no overnights, but they will have some day camps with up to 25 kids out of doors or 10 kids indoors, again wearing some kind of facial covering and also keeping social distance. But that is a really good news for parents and kids who are used to being engaged in fun activities over the summer. So the new testing site opened up at the Pepsi Center, and it is a free test for COVID-19. Even if you have insurance, there are no co-pays. You simply have to have demonstrated at least one of the symptoms of the virus. And there is a way to register online. When you do that, you will be asked a series of questions about whether or not you have had any of the symptoms that they list, and they list about 15 different ones. So it's pretty easy once you qualify with that symptom checklist to get the test. And we hear that the turnaround is pretty quick, about 72 hours at the most. The other thing that we're excited to talk about is that our unemployment centers are going to be opening up again on June 8th. So again, it will be in limited capacity with social distancing, but they might see between 40 and 50 people a day. So excellent news for people who need to file for unemployment or who are looking for work. So I have a quote every day that I share with you. My quote today is by Desmond Tutu. Your ordinary acts of love and hope point to the extraordinary promise that every human life is of inestimable value. I bring this quote to you because I have 2 guests with me today from Hope Communities, 2 staff members who demonstrate every day how much they value the individuals that they work with. I would like to introduce Martina Torres, who is the Manager of Career Programs and Resource Navigation at Hope Communities. Wave, Martina. And also Sandra Ortega, who is the Leasing Consultant at our Northeast Park Hill site, The Gardens. So Martina is going to start by answering some questions that we have heard pretty frequently during the course of navigation, having to do with changes in employment and income and resources available at this time through the pandemic. And Sandra is going to be interpreting that in Spanish so that we can reach a broader audience. So I am just thrilled to have you 2 with me here today, and I'm just going to start some of the questions. So, Martina, many people have lost their jobs as a result of the virus, and of course they need money to live. So what are some of the steps that someone should be taking if they want to file for unemployment right now?
Thank you for having me today, Sharon. It's always good to have your information, and what I mean by that is your social security number, the date you stopped working, who your former employee was, the name of your supervisor, and all of the stuff that would go along with when you lost your job so that you can apply easily to the unemployment office. You can do that by either calling the Hope office and we can do it over the phone, or you can set an appointment. You can also file online. The website is colorado.gov/CDL. You can type it into Google and you'll definitely be able to find to start a claim. And it's pretty simple, but you do need to have all your information.
La pregunta fue, ¿qué pasos puede seguir alguien si quieren aplicar por beneficios de desempleo? ¿Y qué tipo de información deben colectar para estar listos para aplicar sin tener ningún problema? Y la respuesta fue, sería mejor tener su información de seguro social, salarios, el día que dejó su trabajo, los nombres de sus supervisores y cualquier otra información pertinente de su último trabajo. Para hacer una solicitud puede ir a www.colorado.gov Pacific/CDL/file a claim, o puede hacer una cita con uno de nuestros empleados de los programas de Hope Communities para ayudarlos a hacer esa solicitud.
Thank you. So it sounds like you have to be really prepared for this,
Yes.
which is always helpful. So what if people do not want to apply for unemployment, but they want to find a job right now? Where should they look, and what kind of jobs are out there?
Right. So there are a lot of websites, as we probably most know, there are, everything's going to be done online. There's the larger websites, Indeed, Monster.com. We know that some of the larger employees and employers are hiring. Target, Kroger, Denver Human Services has one of the largest databases for finding a job. They come out every Wednesday with something called Workforce Wednesdays, and you would need to go to their website. It's connectingcolorado.com. They have thousands of job opportunities right now, and you can put whatever industry you have worked in before, or maybe you want to start a new career and work in a different career, and then it'll show you how to apply for that job. Again, it is mostly done online though. You will need to create an account to do that. You can also call our office and we can walk you through it, because I know sometimes it can be overwhelming. Definitely.
Yeah, thank you.
La pregunta fue, ¿qué tal si una persona quiere encontrar otro trabajo inmediatamente? ¿Y cuáles son sus sugerencias para buscar trabajo durante este tiempo? ¿Y cuáles empleadores específicos están buscando empleados ahorita? Y la respuesta es, hay muchos sitios por el internet que alojan oportunidades de trabajo actuales, como Indeed, Monster y numerosos bolsas de trabajo, y las empresas más grandes que están contratando, por ejemplo, son Target, Kroger, y los servicios humanos de Denver envían semanalmente un recurso laboral de Workforce Wednesday. Este sitio de Colorado Workforce Center, connectingcolorado.com, tiene una lista completa de trabajos disponibles. Cuando usted va a este sitio puede ingresar la industria en el que usted desea trabajar, el tipo de trabajo que está buscando y la ubicación en el que usted desea trabajar. Después de poner esta información en el sistema en la línea, buscará trabajos que cumplan con estos criterios. Si usted desea información o ayuda, pueden hablar a Hope Communities y hablar con nuestras personas de los programas.
Thank you. Thank you. So, without a job, and if people are applying for unemployment or applying for a new job, sometimes it takes some time. And I know people are really worried about paying important bills like rent and so forth. So what should people do in the short term if they need some money for those types of things?
Right, that's a very good question. And there are some larger programs, First, I would like to say though, we are suggesting that you talk to your landlord, and specifically to Hope Communities, we are asking that you get in touch with the properties office so that we could talk about payment options and different things that we have available. There is a program called TRUA. It's the Temporary Rent Utilities Assistance Program, and it is a federally funded program. So you would need to call 311, and you push 6, and they will let you know who would be the agency that you would need to apply with. We could also help at Hope Communities, help you apply for that to see. It's very important for you to know though that they will only pay up to 80% of your rent if you qualify. And then you would need to come up with 20%. We do know that some people are having a hard time coming up with that 20%, and that's why, again, we ask you to call our office so we can talk about some of your options. But we really are stressing that you reach out to your landlord because it's very important. You are responsible for that rent payment, and we would hate for you to get really behind.
Mm-hmm.
La pregunta fue si sin trabajo muchos están preocupados por pagar facturas importantes como el alquiler, servicios públicos y alimentos. Comenzamos con el alquiler. ¿Qué debe hacer alguien si necesita dinero para su renta? Y la respuesta fue si es residente de Hope Communities, comunícase primeramente con el personal de su propiedad inmediatamente para hablar sobre las opciones de ese pago. Si necesita solicitar asistencia para la renta, el equipo de los programas de Hope puede ayudarlo a solicitar uno de los programas estatales o fines de lucro como TRUA. TRUA es un programa que puede solicitar usted mismo llamando al 311 y luego presionando el número 6 y puede seguir las opciones de eso. Le pedirán el código postal en donde usted viva. TRUA pagará nada más hasta 80% de esa renta, pero usted necesita conseguir el otro 20%. Si necesita ayuda, habla a los programas de Hope Communities y ellos pueden ayudarle a conseguir el otro 20% si es elegible.
Thank you. Thanks. And so, that's great information about rent. What if people need some help with other bills like utilities? Are there other resources out there?
So you would need, TRUA does have some money for utilities, so you would need to see if you could qualify for that. There's also the LEAP program that some people are familiar with, and you would definitely, there's an application for that, and that is all being done online right now. Catholic Charities is another larger nonprofit that does have some utility assistance. You would need to see if you qualify, and we really are suggesting that you contact our office, and you can find all of our phone numbers from our website, because we would need to see if you would qualify for that, and we can definitely help walk you through that application.
Thank you.
La pregunta es si hay dinero de emergencia para los servicios públicos que necesita hacer una persona sobre esa información. Y la respuesta, los programas LEAP y TRUA y Catholic Charities son unos de los más grandes programas que puedes ver si calificas. Sin embargo, nuestro personal de programas puede ayudarle con otras opciones de pago.
Right. And while people are waiting for unemployment and for any kind of emergency money, I know that there's also a concern about food insecurity. So where can people find some food resources for their families?
Right. That's a very good question too. So if you have not, or maybe you don't know about SNAP, that's the government program, we would need to definitely sign you up to get food stamps through that program, and that again is online. There's also so many food banks that are operating around the metro area. The largest, of course, is the Food Bank of the Rockies, and they distribute the food to multiple food banks. So we can definitely let you know which food bank is closest to you and give you their information on the days that they do their distribution. And we are more than happy to give you that information. We will put their direct phone numbers on our website. Currently, if you're a Hope resident, we ask that you contact our office because we are working with Jewish Family Services, Aurora Public Schools, Denver Public Schools, and the Village Exchange to get food out to you weekly. So please feel free to contact us. We don't want anyone going without food.
La pregunta fue si alguien necesita comida y quiere obtener alimentos para su familia, ¿qué pueden hacer? Y la respuesta, si quieren aplicar para recibir beneficios de SNAP o si pueden saber si califican para cupones de alimentos, podemos presentar una aplicación por el internet. Hay varios programas de alimentos más grandes de Denver, Food Bank of the Rockies. Nosotros podemos ayudarlo para saber cuáles lugares son cercanos, más cercanos a su hogar. Nosotros trabajamos aquí en Hope con varios programas como Hope, como el Village Exchange, las escuelas de Denver y de Aurora. Nada más comuníquese con Hope Community y nosotros podemos ayudarlos.
Thank you. So there are many resources out there, and as you can see, these two staff members and our other staff members are so dedicated. I am being completely objective when I say that our staff is far and above, more dedicated than any I've ever worked with. So they are there to help you, but we need to know that you have some concerns or you need a little bit of support. So always please think about emailing us at info@hopecommunities.org or checking out the website. Both of these employees mentioned that we have contact information. If you go to hopecommunities.org, look at About Hope, and then click on Our Team, you'll see their pictures and everybody else's pictures of the people that work with us and all of their contact information. We are, as I said, there for you. We don't want you to feel alone. We don't want you to be at risk for not having food or not having the money that you need to support you through this crisis. So please let us know if we can be of help. And I'm going to do a book review in a second, but thank you two so much.
Thanks for having us.
Being here. It's wonderful to have them on the show. So we typically talk about a book at the end of these shows, and then we post a fuller book review after the Facebook Live show that will give you more details about a book. And we try to choose books that are downloadable from the Denver Public Library, which this one is. So the upcoming latest book review will be on a James Patterson book. It's called Crisscross, and the book follows a private investigator, Alex Cross, and his partner John Sampson as they try to uncover the case involving a serial killer who goes by the name of M. And they've had a pursuit after this individual for many, many years, and then thought he had disappeared from the scene. So now they're wondering if they have a copycat or if it is truly M who's risen up again to create havoc in the community. But you can hear more about that in our book review, and that'll be posted in a few minutes. And hopefully you'll get a chance to download that from the library and to read it. Let us know if you do. We'd love to hear your comments and reviews. So as an ending, let me just reiterate that we're there for you. We hope you've had a good week this week and that you're ready for a delightful